Welcome back to the deep dive. And specifically, we are looking at a list of 30 advanced figures of speech. These are items 61 through 90 on a very long, very intense list of rhetorical devices.
An architect is really the right word for this. I think most of us, when we speak or write, we're stacking bricks.
Just trying to get the point across.
Right. We want to get a thought from our brain to someone else's brain, so we just throw words together until they stick. We're building a shed. It's functional. It keeps the rain out, but it's not exactly the Taj Mahal.
Yeah. And what we are looking at today are the tools to build the Taj Mahal, or maybe a fortress, or a trap.
Exactly. These are the tools used by people who understand that the order of words, the sound of words, and the repetition of words can actually change the chemistry in the listener's brain.
That sounds intense.
It is. We're talking about the tools of politicians, heavy-hitting advertisers, poets, and honestly, really effective liars.
Okay, well, that took a dark turn immediately. But I get it. Our mission today for you listening is to decode these 30 terms, which I have to warn you have some absolutely terrifying Greek and Latin names.
They really do.
Yeah, and we want to figure out how they work in the wild. We want to know why they are persuasive and how we can use them, or at least spot them when they're being used on us.
And that second part is crucial. Once you know what paralepsis is, or anthypophora, you will never watch a political debate the same way again.
You'll see the matrix.
You'll see the strings being pulled, yeah.
So this is self-defense class as much as it is an English class.
I like to think of it as a toolkit for the mind.
Let's crack open the toolkit then. We have broken these 30 terms down into categories to make them easier to digest, because otherwise it's just a giant list of tongue twisters. I want to start with a category I'm calling the rule breakers.
I like that title.
Because we spend years in school learning the rules. Subject-verb agreement, logical order, don't make up words. And then you get to this level of rhetoric, and the first thing you learn is break the rules.
But break them on purpose. That is the distinction here. A mistake is an accident. A figure of speech is a calculated deviation from the norm to create a specific effect.
Let's look at the first one. Item 61, anthemeria.
Anthemeria. It sounds like a disease, but it's actually a sign of a very healthy, evolving language.
The definition here is using a word in a new grammatical form, specifically a noun as a verb. And the source gives the example that we all know so well. Let's Google it. Right. Now, step back for a second. Google is a proper noun. It is the name of a corporation. Strictly speaking, in the 1990s, you couldn't Google anything.
You could perform a search on Google.
Exactly, which sounds exhausting.
Hang on, let me perform a search on Google regarding that topic.
Right, it's clunky. It's low energy. Anthemeria allows us to take that noun, the thing, and turn it into the action itself. It compresses the sentence. It makes it efficient.
We do this constantly, don't we? Like, friend me, or table the discussion.
Adulting. That's a huge one recently.
Oh, yeah. I don't feel like adulting today.
Exactly. Adult is a noun. But by turning it into a verb, you aren't just saying, I don't want to act like an adult. You're turning the state of being an adult into a performative task. It adds a layer of irony and exhaustion that the normal sentence just doesn't have.
So is it just laziness?
Yeah.
Is anthemeria just us being too lazy to use the real verb? I wouldn't say lazy. I'd say efficient and creative. Shakespeare was actually the king of this. He used uncle as a verb.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Uncle me no uncle.
Uncle me no uncle.
He took a relationship and turned it into an annoying action. That is brilliant economy of language. It signals that you are comfortable enough with the language to play with it. It feels modern even when Shakespeare.
Okay, so anthemeria is verbed nouns. Let's move to one that I honestly struggle with. Item 64, hypallage.
The transfer trick.
Yeah, the definition is transferring an adjective from the word it logically belongs to another word nearby. The example is restless night.
This is one of my favorites because it is so subtle. Logically, think about it. Can a night be restless?
No. A night is just a period of darkness. It doesn't have a nervous system. It can't toss and turn. I am the one who is restless.
Precisely. You are the subject. You are feeling the restless. But if you say, I was restless during the night, it's a medical report.
It's clinical.
Yeah, it puts the problem entirely inside you.
A restless night.
Restless night takes that internal feeling and paints it onto the world around you. The darkness itself feels agitated. The shadows feel like they're moving. It creates an atmosphere.
So it's about immersion.
It's about projection. You see this in poetry and novels all the time. A nervous cigarette.
A nervous cigarette. Cigarettes don't have anxiety.
No, they don't. but the person smoking it does. By transferring the adjective to the object, you show how the person's emotion is bleeding out into their physical reality.
That is actually really cool, a nervous cigarette. It gives you such a clear image of a shaking hand.
Exactly. It's show, don't tell at the sentence level.
Okay, sticking with the rule breakers, let's look at time travel. Item 63, archaism.
Because time machine.
Using outdated words for stylistic effect. The source mentions thee and thou in Shakespeare, or maybe a religious text. But why would we use this today? If I walked into a coffee shop and said, "Give me thy finest latte," they'd kick me out.
Or they'd think you were filming a video for social media. But that's the point. It disrupts the normal flow. We use archaism for two very different reasons: gravitas or irony.
Let's talk gravitas first.
Think about a wedding. With this ring, I thee wed. Why not say, I'm marrying you with this ring?
The wed sounds, I don't know, permanent. It sounds like it's carved in stone.
It borrows the weight of history. It signals to everyone in the room that we are doing something that has been done for centuries. This is a ritual. Legal language does this too.
Like heretofore and wherefore.
Right. It creates a barrier of seriousness.
And the irony.
That's your coffee shop example. If you use high holy language to talk about something mundane, like a latte or taking out the trash, it highlights how ridiculous the situation is. It's a mock epic style.
So if my roommate leaves dishes in the sink, and I say, "Forsooth, the filth groweth," I'm being a jerk, but a rhetorical jerk.
A rhetorical jerk is the best kind of jerk. You're using archaism to distance yourself from the mess and elevate the complaint into a joke.
Got it. Now, the last one in this section is one that drives my logical brain absolutely crazy. Item 76, hysteron proteron.
A very complex name for a very simple habit.
Definition, reversing the logical order of ideas. And the example I hate this is put on your shoes and socks.
Stop and visualize that.
I can't. If I put on my shoes, I can't put on my socks. The socks go into the shoes. It's physically impossible. Why do we say it?
Because language isn't physics. Language is psychology. Hysteron proteron is about priority. What is the more important object?
The shoe.
The shoe is the destination. The sock is just the underwear for your foot.
So we skip the process and jump to the result.
We prioritize the impact. Think about thunder and lightning.
Oh, good point. Light travels faster than sound. We always see the lightning before we hear the thunder, so logically it should be lightning and thunder.
Right. But thunder is the heavy, scary word. Thunder and lightning sounds like a threat. Lightning and thunder sounds like a science experiment. Yeah, hysteron proteron allows you to put the emotional weight at the front of the phrase, logic be damned.
So it's about leading with a headline.
Exactly. We sacrifice chronology for drama.
I feel like that's the motto for this whole deep dive. Sacrifice chronology for drama.
A good motto for life, honestly.
Let's move to our second segment. This is the meat and potatoes of public speaking. If you listen to Martin Luther King Jr. or JFK or Churchill, you hear this constantly. I'm calling this segment the art of repetition.
Repetition is the heartbeat of persuasion.
But wait, in school, I was told repetition is bad. Don't be repetitive. Use synonyms.
That's advice for writing a boring essay. In speech, repetition is how you create rhythm. It's how you flag what is important. If you say something once, it's information. If you say it 3 times, it's a mantra.
We have a bunch of these in the source text, and they all have slightly different flavors. I want to distinguish them because I feel like people mix them up. Let's start with anadiplosis, item 66.
The chain link.
The definition is repeating the last word of one clause at the start of the next. The source example is, strength leads to courage. Courage leads to honor.
Feel the momentum in that. It's like a relay race. Passing the baton.
Strength leads to courage. Pass the baton. Courage leads to honor.
It creates a sense of logical inevitability. It's extremely persuasive because it leads the listener by the hand, step by step. You can't get off the train. It implies that if you take the first step, the final result is guaranteed.
It reminds me of Yoda. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
The ultimate anadiplosis. If Yoda just said, fear eventually causes suffering, it's weak. But by chaining them together, it feels like a law of the universe. It locks the argument together.
Okay, so that's the chain. Now contrast that with epizeuxis, item 74.
Epizeuxis, this is the hammer.
Definition, repetition of a word in immediate succession. Example, alone, alone, all alone.
There's no logic here, no chain. This is just brute force.
It's just banging on the same key on the piano.
But think about the effect. If I say, I am very lonely, you process that as a fact. If I say alone, alone, all alone, I am trapping you in that word. I am forcing you to dwell on it. It creates an emotional echo chamber.
It feels desperate or intense, like never, never, never give up.
Exactly. Winston Churchill. If he had said, you should not give up, it's advice. Never, never, never is a command. It arrests your attention. It creates a blockade in the sentence that you cannot get past without acknowledging the word.
So epizeuxis is for intensity.
Yeah.
Now, what if we put the repetition at the end? Episphora, item 80.
A anchor.
Repetition of words at the end of successive clauses. Example, I want pizza, he wants pizza, we all want pizza.
The source example is a bit trivial, but the mechanic is sound.
It's a bit silly, yeah, but I see the point.
Look at a more serious example. Abraham Lincoln. Government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Oh, that's epiphora.
That is classic epiphora. He repeats the people at the end of every phrase.
Why not at the beginning?
Because the end of the sentence is the landing zone. It's what you remember. By putting the people at the end of every phrase, he is hammering home that they are the point. The prepositions change of, by, for, but the destination remains the same. It creates a sense of unity.
It brings everything back to a central point. Okay, what about the middle? Mesodiplosis, item 81.
The centerpiece.
Repetition of a word in the middle of successive clauses. Example, we are troubled, yet troubled, still we hope.
This is rarer, and it's more subtle.
We are troubled, yet troubled. It feels like a heartbeat.
That's a beautiful way to describe it. It creates a pivot point. The sentence balances on that middle word. In this example, troubled is the state of being that we can't escape, but the sentence moves through it. It acknowledges the persistent reality, the trouble, while moving from we are to we hope.
It feels very poetic. It's less aggressive than the hammer.
Yes, it's much more contemplative.
Now we have one called the sandwich, diacope, item 87.
Diacope.
Repetition of a word with a few intervening words. Example, we will win at all costs.
So you have win, a gap, and then win again.
What is the point of the gap? Why not just say win, win?
The gap allows you to reload. Think of it like a slingshot. We will win sets the premise. Then you pull back with the intervening words at all costs, and you fire the word again with even more force.
It feels like a rally cry.
It is. It's about determination. Bond. James Bond.
Wait, is that diacope?
Technically, yes. Repetition of the name Bond with the first name James intervening. It emphasizes the surname. It makes it iconic.
I never thought of James Bond as a rhetorical device, but here we are. Okay, last one in repetition. This is the smartest sounding one. Polypsiton, item 90.
The shapeshifter.
Repeating words with the same root in different forms. Example, not as a call to battle, though embattled we are.
This is the flex. This is showing off.
You're using battle the noun and embattled the adjective.
Right. You aren't just repeating the word, you are twisting it. You are showing that you understand the concept from multiple angles. Judge not, that ye be not judged.
Oh, classic. Judge the verb, judge the condition.
It creates a tight weave of meaning. It suggests that the action and the consequence are intrinsically linked because the words are linked. It sounds incredibly authoritative.
It sounds like wisdom. If you want to sound like a philosopher, use polyptiton.
I dreamed a dream. Love is love's reward. It works every time.
All right, let's shake off the repetition and get noisy. Segment 3, sound engineering.
This is where we stop looking at the dictionary meaning of words and start looking at the physics, the vibration.
The source gives us two perfect opposites here. Item 84 and item 85. Cacophony and euphony. Start with the ugly one. Cacophony.
The clash.
Definition, harsh or jarring sounds. Example, the clash and clang of swords echoed.
Just listen to the mouthfeel of that. Clash. Clang.
It's crunchy.
It's full of plosives. KS, TS, GS, Bs. Hard consonants that stop the air. It mimics the chaos of the real world. If you are describing a car crash, you don't use soft words. You use crushed, broken glass. Screech.
You want the listener to physically flinch.
Yes. You want the sound of the sentence to match the violence of the scene. It wakes the brain up. It signals danger.
And then the opposite is euphony, the melody.
Pleasant and harmonious sounds. Example, season of mists and mellow fruits.
Mists, mellow. Even saying it lowers my blood pressure.
It's all liquids and nasals. L's, M's, SS, X, F's. The air flows. It hums. Cellar door is famously considered one of the most beautiful phrases in English just because of the sound.
Cellar door. It doesn't mean anything beautiful. It's a door to a basement, but it sounds like a spell.
That is euphony. You use it when you want to seduce, when you want to comfort, when you're writing a lullaby or a love letter. If you use cacophony in a love letter, my love for you is a jagged rock, cracking it doesn't work.
I bracket my heart to your gasket.
Yeah,
Not romantic.
not unless you're dating a mechanic.
And then, somewhere in the middle of sound, we have euphemism, item 71, which sounds like euphony, but it's different.
The decoration.
Highly ornamental language, using balance and alliteration. Example, the fair sun shone softly, spreading splendid splendor.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
Spreading splendid splendor. It's a mouthful. It feels, well, extra.
It is extra. It's frosting on top of frosting. This was very popular in the Elizabethan era. It's about showing off your vocabulary and your ability to create patterns.
Is it useful today? Or does it just sound like you swallowed a thesaurus?
If you do it too much, you sound pompous. But in small doses, it adds elegance. Think about a eulogy or a formal toast. We wish you a bright, beautiful, and bountiful future.
That's euphemism.
It's balanced. It's alliterative. It feels elevated. It signals that this moment is special. Just don't use it to order a pizza. I desire a pepperoni pie of perfection.
Yeah, the delivery guy will hang up on. Okay, let's get into the dangerous stuff. Segment 4, mind games.
Here we go.
These are the devices that play with the listener's logic. They are manipulative. And my favorite one, my absolute favorite on this entire list is item 72, paralepsis.
The passive-aggressive pointer.
Definition. Emphasizing something by claiming not to mention it. Example.
Yeah.
I won't even talk about his mistakes.
This is the dark art of rhetoric.
It's so dishonest. I won't even mention the fact that you stole my lunch. I just mentioned it.
But you did it with the shield. You claimed you weren't going to. So if the person gets mad, you say, "What? I said I wouldn't talk about it."
It's gaslighting in sentence form.
It allows you to inject an idea into the listener's head without taking responsibility for it. Politicians do this all the time. Many people are saying, I don't know if it's true, but people are saying,
Or in a debate, I don't need to bring up my opponent's drinking problem to win this election.
boom, you just brought it up, but you framed it as taking the high road. It's incredibly effective because the listener hears the information, but they also hear your restraint.
It's dirty pool. I love it. Now, what about asking questions? We have 2 types here. Anthropophora, item 67.
The self-interview.
Raising a question and immediately answering it. Example, why do we learn English? To communicate globally.
This is a control freak's tool.
How so?
If I ask you a question, why do we learn English? And I stop, you might give me an answer I don't like. You might say, to watch movies.
Right. You lose control of the narrative.
But with Anthropophora, I ask the question to engage your brain, but I immediately supply the answer to ensure you think what I want you to think. Is this plan risky? Yes. Is it necessary? Absolutely.
It creates the illusion of dialogue. It feels like we're having a conversation, but really, you're just lecturing me.
Exactly. It anticipates objections. You might ask, is this expensive? And I tell you, it makes the speaker sound confident and prepared.
Compare that to erotima, item 83, the rhetorical question.
This is where you don't answer.
Asking a question not for an answer, but for effect. Example, can anyone deny the truth?
With Anthropophora, I supply the answer. With erotima, I bully you into supplying the answer I want.
Can anyone deny the truth? The implied answer is no.
Right. If I say, do you want to be a failure for the rest of your life?
I mean, no, obviously.
I'm not asking for your input. I am forcing you to agree with my premise. It corners the listener. It creates a vacuum that the listener has to fill with the obvious answer. It unites the audience.
So anthropophora is for explaining, and erotima is for rallying.
That's a great distinction.
Now, what happens when the sentence falls apart? Aposiopesis, item 62.
The cliffhanger.
Breaking off a sentence abruptly. Example,
I can't believe you would never mind.
drama, pure drama.
Never mind. Why is that effective? Why not just finish the sentence?
Because the imagination is stronger than reality. If I say, if you do that again, I will sue you, that's a specific threat. You can assess it. You can say, okay, sue me.
But if you say, if you do that again, I swear I will, and stop.
Now you are terrified. What will you do? Kill me. Ruin me. The silence is heavy. It implies that the emotion is too big for words.
It's the rhetorical equivalent of storming out of the room.
Or holding back tears. It makes the speaker seem overwhelmed.
And similar to that is anacolophon, item 78.
The midstream switch. A sudden break in sentence structure. Example, I warned him that, well, it doesn't matter now.
Aposiopesis just stops. And I call us on pivots. You
Mhm.
start one sentence, break it, and finish another.
It feels like authentic thought.
Exactly. We don't think in perfect paragraphs. We have realized thoughts. I always want to say that, actually, let's look at this. It makes a character or speaker feel real, vulnerable, and present in the moment.
It creates immediacy, like we are figuring this out together.
Yes, it breaks the scripted feel.
Okay, segment 5, structure and balance. This is about the geometry of the sentence.
Yeah.
And we have to start with the superstar, the one JFK loved. Item 88, chiasmus.
The mirror. This is the height of wit.
Definition, reversing word order in successive clauses. Example, never let a fool kiss you or kiss fool you.
Look at the X shape. Fool kiss. Kiss fool.
This sounds so, I don't know, final.
It implies a total truth. Ask not what your country can do for you. You ask what you can do for your country.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going.
It balances the equation. It makes the speaker sound incredibly wise, as if they have looked at the problem from both sides and found the perfect symmetry. If you want a line to be quoted in history books, write it in chiasmus.
It's catchy. It's almost musical. Now, what if you have bad news to deliver? That's antanagoge, item 73.
Silver lining.
Placing a positive point next to a negative one.
Yeah.
Example, the car is expensive, but it's worth every penny.
This is sales 101.
You admit the flaw.
You have to. If you ignore the flaw, you look like a liar. But if you state the flaw, it's expensive, and then immediately hit them with the benefit it's worth it, you control the priority.
It relies on the recency effect, right?
Exactly. The brain tends to remember the last thing it heard, so you put the bad stuff first, the primacy, and the good stuff last, the recency. The work is hard, but the payout is huge. You remember the payout?
If you flipped it, the payout is huge, but the work is hard.
Yeah.
You leave them thinking about the hard work.
And you lose the sale.
Sneaky. Let's talk about scale. Litotes versus hyperbole. Item 86 and item 70.
The understatement and the overstatement.
Litotes is understatement using negative phrasing. Example, he's not the worst singer I've heard.
This is very British.
Not bad, not unpleased.
It creates a distance. It's ironic. If you say he is a good singer, you are committing to an opinion. If you say he's not the worst, you are technically telling the truth while lowering the bar. It can be used for modesty, it was no small feat, or for cutting insults.
It feels cool, detached, whereas hyperbole is just screaming.
Extreme exaggeration. I've been waiting for eternity.
I'm starving to death.
You aren't dying, you're just hungry. But hyperbole isn't about literal truth, it's about emotional truth. It validates the intensity of the feeling. If you told your spouse, I've been waiting 12 minutes, they might say, so what? But I've been waiting forever conveys the actual frustration.
It's checking in with the listener's heart, not their watch.
Right.
Last one in structure. Anastrophe, item 89.
The Yoda effect.
Inverting usual word order. Example, excited the children were to open gifts.
Standard English is subject, verb, adjective. The children were excited. Anastrophe flips it. Excited were the children.
Why do that? Besides sounding like a Jedi.
Emphasis. The first word in a sentence is the spotlight. By moving excited to the front, you hit the listener with the emotion before they even know who is feeling it.
Dark was the night.
Great is the Lord. It puts the quality first. It creates a poetic, archaic, or dramatic weight.
Okay, we have a few leftovers that didn't fit the buckets but are too good to miss. Segment 6, the grab bag of brilliance.
Let's empty the bag.
Item 65,
Pleonasm. The extra emphasis.
using more words than necessary.
Example. I saw it with my own eyes.
We say this all the time, but logically, whose eyes would you see it with?
Bob's eyes.
Exactly, it's redundant. But it's redundant for a reason. It adds verification. It says, I was there. I am a witness.
It adds texture to the claim.
It slows the sentence down to emphasize the reality of it.
Next, item 68. Synchisis.
The jumble.
Words deliberately jumbled. Example. Sweet is the night, dark is the day. This is about disorientation. It messes with the expected pairings. Usually, day is light and sweet, night is dark. By mixing them, you create a surreal, poetic effect.
It feels like a dream state.
It forces the listener to untangle the meaning. It engages the brain in a puzzle.
Item 69. Apostrophe, not the punctuation mark.
No. Directly addressing an absent or imaginary person or thing. Example. Oh, love, why do you torment me?
You're talking to love.
Or death. Death, be not proud. You are treating an abstract concept as a person in the room. It raises the stakes. It makes the internal struggle external. You aren't just sad, you are in a debate with...
High drama. I like it.
Like-
Item 75. Paranomasia.
Puns.
I used to be a baker, but I couldn't make enough dough.
That's terrible.
I know, but why is this on an advanced rhetoric list?
Yeah.
Puns are just dad jokes.
Puns are proof of mastery. To make a pun, you have to hold two meanings in your head simultaneously and connect them with sound. It disarms the audience. If you can make them laugh, their guard comes down. Then you can persuade them.
Item 82. Antistasis.
The double meaning.
Repetition of a word with a change in meaning. Example, man proposes, God disposes.
This plays on the root word posen, which means to place. Man places a plan forward, God takes it away, disposes. It uses the similarity of the words to highlight the massive difference in power.
It sounds epic. Proposes, disposes. It rhymes, it balances.
It creates a philosophical contrast using linguistic similarity.
And finally, item 79. Epithet.
The label.
Descriptive phrase expressing a quality. Example, Alexander the Great.
He isn't just Alexander, he is the Great.
The Rock.
Exactly. It takes a person and turns them into an archetype, a brand. It freezes a specific quality of them in time forever. You aren't a person anymore, you are a legend.
Wow. Okay, that was a marathon. We just unpacked 30 incredible tools.
We really did. We went from Googling with Anthemaria to clashing swords, cacophony, to kissing fools with chiasmus.
So what is the listener supposed to do with all this? We've given them a loaded weapon.
That's exactly what it is. A weapon or a toolkit. The big takeaway is that language is not neutral. It is engineered.
When you hear a politician speak or read an ad, look for the chiasmus. Look for the parallelipsis.
Spot the manipulation. And for yourself, pick one. Just one. Tomorrow, try to use litotes. Don't say I'm happy. Say I'm not unhappy. See how it changes the power dynamic in the room?
Or try anadiplosis. Connect your sentences. Make yourself sound logical.
Become an architect.
But before we go, I have to ask, are we bad people for teaching this?
That raises the most important question of all.
Which is?
I won't mention how dangerous these tools are. I won't talk about how dictators use epizopsis to brainwash crowds, or how stammers use antanagoge to hide the flaws in their schemes.
You're doing it again, parallelipsis.
I am. I'm saying it by saying I won't say it. And that is the point. These tools exist. You can use them to build bridges, or you can use them to dig traps. It's up to you, but at least now you can see the blue.
That is a thought to chew on. You've been listening to The Deep Dive.
Listen closely.
We'll see you next time.